In today's episode, we're diving deep into the world of flexibility. As a gymnastics coach and a lifelong student of movement, I've spent countless hours helping athletes unlock their full potential through enhanced flexibility. The insights I share today are a blend of personal coaching experiences, the successes of my athletes, and well-supported scientific findings. Right now, I'm in the thick of making a comprehensive course that has all my knowledge from various sports disciplines, and I am currently in the flexibility section, so it's on my mind. What better time to bring you all along and have a sneak peek into what the course will offer? Let's stretch our understanding and challenge what we know about the art and science of flexibility.
Welcome to Also Ninja Fitness, where we share our love for sports such as Ninja Warrior, Parkour, and Gymnastics to help you achieve the power, skills, and freedom of movement of the functional fitness athlete you are meant to be.
You don't need to be more flexible to be more flexible. It's not always about dedicated flexibility training. Doing strength training routines that involve full ranges of motion is more than enough to maintain and even improve our flexibility for every day. Most fitness enthusiasts have workouts that promote mobility. These exercises require moving through complete ranges, which naturally helps joint health and muscle elasticity. It's a dynamic way to achieve the flexibility required for everyday activities without the need for additional separate stretching sessions. Current research suggests that routine stretching isn't mandatory for basic health or recovery for most people. So why focus intensely on flexibility training? The answer lies in specific goals, such as pursuing advanced athletic skills, enhancing body control, or addressing specific stiffness or rehabilitation needs. For the general population, however, the mobility gained from regular, varied exercise is typically enough. While dedicated flexibility training might be required, I feel as if I am creating confusion. It's okay, I feel this part, and most people have a misunderstanding. Do you see how I mentioned flexibility and mobility? Those things are related, but not the same thing. Many people don't want to be able to do the splits, they just want to move freely and smoothly, being mobile. What's the difference? Does it matter? What's the difference between a split and a vertical kick? That's the difference between passive and active flexibility. Passive flexibility is stretching, using outside forces like gravity, props, or even a partner to push the range. This is increasing how far your muscles can stretch while you're relaxed. On the other hand, active flexibility requires you to use your muscle force to get in a position. This is both strength and control within that range of motion. It's not just about stretching further, it's about strengthening the muscles to support that stretch. Passive flexibility comes first, then comes active flexibility. Passive is being able to get into a position, while active is being able to do something in that position. That's the difference between flexibility and mobility. So it depends on your goal. Some people don't want to do the splits, and that's okay. You don't see many parkour athletes or ninja warrior athletes working on flexibility specifically, but they do work on mobility. There are certain ranges of motion that you want to be able to do things in to do certain moves, but it does help with certain cool moves. Let's look at martial arts for an example. If you want to be able to do an amazing high kick, your leg first needs to be able to get into that position. Then you strengthen the muscle in this new position to do it on its own. Now you can kick people in the head. Now for the rest, I'm going to be talking about passive flexibility, what most of us think about, which is being extremely bendy. Like I said, it's not required, but if there is a specific goal you want to hit, or for whatever reason, you lack range of motion and you want extra work in that range, this is where it's going to help. Let's explore the science of stretching to understand what is happening in the first place to know how to be effective. It's also interesting. What's even happening when you stretch to get flexible? First, there is the physical part. Your muscles don't tear like training for muscle growth. You are stretching them like an elastic and training them to come back without pain. You could stretch further, but your muscles would feel weak and potential to be injured, but there is less harm than you think. Some people will have joints, muscle tissue, and injuries that make this harder. Our muscles have a built-in protection called the stretch reflex that keeps them from stretching too far and getting hurt. Regular stretching helps us teach our nervous system to let us stretch further without setting off this reflex. Stretching has more to do with training our minds and teaching our bodies that it's okay to go this far, which takes more time for some than others. I find it interesting the difference between how our body deals with flexibility versus strength. In strength training, there is a big component of your nervous system and how it connects to your muscles, but we tear up our muscles for them to repair and get stronger. When we do flexibility training, our brain tries to stop us from getting weak that way. It's interesting, and it's also interesting how stretching is connected to working out. Many of us have been told to stretch before and after a workout, but what does science actually say about this? Well, it turns out that timing and type of stretching really matter. Static stretching, where you hold a stretch for a long period, can temporarily weaken muscles if done just before intense physical activities. You have no idea how much it bothers me as a gymnastics coach when athletes do holding splits at the beginning of every class. However, dynamic stretches, movements that stretch your muscles through motion, prepare your body better for physical work. Think arm circles, leg swings, or gentle walking lunges. These are all great ways to wake up your muscles. Still, need more warm-up? Do a very light set of the things you are doing. As for post-workout, this is a prime time for static stretching. After your muscles are warm and more elastic, get deeper stretches for your flexibility. Dedicating specific sessions to focused flexibility training is key to improvement. Do dynamic stretching before a workout to warm up, or do more sets of the thing you're going to do at a lighter intensity to be ready. If you want to improve your flexibility or want to stretch, do it after a workout, or at least at a different time after your strength training. I know when I first started my fitness journey, I always believed that holding stretches was the thing to do. It wasn't dangerous or a make or break for a workout, just wasn't as effective and a better way to work on warming up and flexibility. Now I want to explore some common challenges people face with flexibility training and practical solutions. After, we'll go over an example of a routine that you can do as well as the reps and sets that science says are the best as well as my experience. I'm doing that after and later because many people just focus on those numbers and not everything around them. If you are making these flexibility mistakes, you might be doing more harm than good. Just like a rubber band becomes more bendy when warmed, our muscles are similar. Jumping into stretching routines without a proper warm-up can lead to less effective sessions and an increased risk of injury. This is as simple as a brisk walk or a few minutes of dynamic movements. A common challenge in flexibility training is the slow pace of visible progress. Unlike strength gains, which can be observed relatively quickly, improvements in flexibility can be gradual and require consistent effort over time. Stretching just once a week might maintain your current level of flexibility, but it won't lead to improvements. Consistency is crucial. Aim for shorter sessions spread throughout the week to gradually increase your range of motion and achieve better results. Another issue many face is the temptation to push into painful stretches for progress. However, effective stretching should involve mild discomfort, not pain. Pain is an indicator that you are pushing your body too far, too fast. It's important to listen to your body and stretch at the edge of your comfort zone, where true flexibility improvements occur. These are just common challenges. There are many more in which each individual is different in their flexibility journey. There's also no one size fits all either, but I'm going to try to go over what has worked for me and what studies show is the best to increase that flexibility. What is the right amount of stretching to get more flexible? Research has shown that aiming for 30 to 60 seconds per stretch, totaling up to just 10 minutes a week, leads to flexibility improvements. Yes, you heard that right. Just 10 minutes a week. Studies with gymnasts and dancers also show it should not be painful. We're talking about a cozy, comfortable stretch at about 30% intensity. Last is consistency. It's better to do many smaller sessions of stretching than one long session, but as long as you hit that 10-minute goal or more, you should improve. There is a catch. That 10 minutes is for one muscle per week. Doing this 10-minute target for every muscle group will start to add up quickly. That's where smart, efficient stretching comes in, targeting multiple muscle groups without eating up your time. I guess there is good news and bad news. The good news is that it only takes 10 minutes a week to get more flexible, almost regardless of how you spread out those 10 minutes in 30 to 60 second stretches. The bad news is that's per muscle group. I have a 5-stretch routine that is meant to help get those gymnastic splits and bends, but that's not everyone's goal. However, we did find a routine that we started to use for our groups in less time. This inspiration came from Livin' Leggings on YouTube, and it was really fantastic. All you need is a shirt and 5 minutes to get the most flexible you have ever been. 1. Leaning crab stretch. Starting in a crab position, push those hips and chest up high. Then slide one foot back under your hips and lean forward. No sweat if you can't touch your knee to the ground. It's the effort that counts, and the flexibility will follow. 2. Squat to pike. Holding your shirt at your hips, drop into a deep squat. If squats are tricky, prop your hands on something higher. Switch between this squat and a pike position, keeping that shirt in place. It's okay if your legs aren't perfectly straight yet. We'll get there. Number 3, kneeling warrior 2. Pop that shirt under your knee for a bit of comfort as you kneel. Extend one leg out for a side lunge, push the knee out with one hand, and with the other, reach over your head and look up. We'll hang out here for 60 seconds before switching sides. This routine is amazing as it tries to be the compound movements of flexibility, saving you time in your routine. As I said, there is a 5-movement routine that will get you faster to those splits and pancakes, which I'm excited to share once I get a version and progression for all levels, which will be in the course for sure. As we wrap up, I hope you understand that flexibility is a key component, but is misunderstood a lot with mobility and isn't necessary depending on your goals. However, if big tricks, bodyweight mastery, and pushing your limits are goals, then flexibility can be one component. If you're inspired to take your flexibility to the next level, don't miss out on our comprehensive course at awesomeninjafitness.com. We've packed it with detailed tutorials, step-by-step guides, and all the science-backed strategies we discussed today and more. It's designed to kickstart your journey and integrate seamlessly into your daily routine. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to stretch your limits, not just your limbs. Stretch well, train safely, and stay awesome.